When canvassing in my home state of New Jersey's 7th Congressional District, my partner and I came across a Haitian woman sitting on her porch who told us she did not speak English and that she was sorry. And there was no Creole option in our script on minivan, but being the problem solvers that we are, we pulled up Google Translate, sat down with her, and made use of our French 1 skills to have a conversation about democracy. And that experience made me think about how language barriers impact high school civic engagement. So that led to my research question. To what extent do language barriers diminish the persuasiveness of peer-to-peer mobilization among high school English learners? So for some background, over 5.3 million middle and high school students are enrolled in English Learner or ESL, English Second Language classes in the United States, which makes up around 10% of middle and high schoolers. And according to Circle from Tufts University, across all age groups, naturalized and first generation youth are contacted less by civic campaigns. So, my hypothesis is that high school English learners at schools with active civics clubs will report lower peer persuasion than their native English speaking peers, and that the underlying cause of this is because of a lack of language adapted outreach and student familiarity with bilingual outreach tools. So, that could be bilingual canvassing scripts, like I was mentioning earlier for canvassing, or non-English voter registration forms and bilingual table managers. So for my methodology, I plan on surveying students in public, urban, and suburban high schools within New Jersey with the high concentration of English learner students, around 10%, and active civic engagement clubs and student organizations. So for the quantitative element of that, I would survey two cohorts, one group of students enrolled in or formerly enrolled in English learner classes and a control group of native English speakers. And questions with the 5-point Likert scale will gauge their political efficacy and feelings of civic persuasion. So an example question could be, I feel included in my peers' civic outreach initiatives. And then for my qualitative element, I'll be doing structured group interviews where two cohorts, the same as earlier, are made of 6 to 8 students. And I'm using the same groups, except the native English speakers will be a select group that are civically engaged and indicated on the previous survey that they run voter registration drives, engage in student government, etc. And so I'll also be interviewing an ESL group that will include non-native English speakers of Mandarin, Spanish, and Haitian Creole, and these interviews will be moderated by a native speaker of those languages respectively to establish a baseline of relativity. And the native English speaking student group interviewers will be more interviewed based on their familiarity with translated canvassing tools and recruiting bilingual drive managers. So here's example questions for the native English speakers and the English learners respectively. So they focus on two different things, one being familiarity and the other being inclusion. So why is this important? Well, door-to-door canvassing by Spanish fluent canvassers has been shown to increase voter reg turnout among Latino residents, and that same principle applies across the board. So America has no national language, and it logically follows that there should be no national language for civic engagement either. Thank you.